Level 1. The Invisible Girl. You're 17 years old. Your father owes money to a Yakuza oyabun, a boss. Not a small debt, a life-ruining debt. And when men like this come to collect, they don't always want cash. Sometimes they want something more permanent. Your father disappears one night. You never see him again. Your mother doesn't call the police. You already know why. The man who now controls your family's fate is named Kenji. He runs a small kobun, a subfamily, out of a bar in Shinjuku. He doesn't threaten you directly. He doesn't have to. The threat is the silence, the unpaid debt, the way he looks at your mother when he drinks. You make a decision. You start showing up at the bar. You don't ask for anything. You don't demand anything. You just appear, wiping tables, pouring drinks, watching. You study every person who walks through that door. Who bows deepest to whom? Who gets the good sake without asking? Who everyone looks at before they laugh? You learn the hierarchy without being taught it. This is how women enter the Yakuza. Not through ceremony, not through bloodshed, through observation, through usefulness, through becoming so quietly essential that removing you would cause more disruption than keeping you. After 3 months, Kenji's lieutenant, a man named Daisuke, notices you're still there. He asks why you keep coming back. You tell him you have nowhere else to go. That's not entirely true, but it's the right answer. Level 2. The Ane-san track. Here's the path the Yakuza has carved out for women, and it is exactly one path wide. Ane-san, older sister. It's the title given to the wife or close female associate of a senior Yakuza member. It is not a warrior title. It is not a power title. On paper, it means you are respected, hands-off, untouchable, owed deference. In practice, it means you are useful in ways men cannot be. You become Daisuke's Ane-san, not his wife, not yet, but his. You understand what this costs. You also understand what it buys. Suddenly, no one in the bar looks through you anymore. When you speak, people listen, not because of you, because of him. That distinction will follow you forever. Your job now is threefold. First, information. Women move through spaces that Yakuza men cannot. A politician's wife at a dinner party. A corporate rival's secretary who needs someone to talk to. A nervous young hostess who saw something she shouldn't have. You become the spider at the center of a web they don't even know exists. You collect names, debts, secrets. You pass them to Daisuke over tea, calmly, the way a person reports the weather. Second, the money. The Yakuza runs legitimate businesses, soaplands, bars, construction front companies, real estate. You manage the books for 2 of them. You are meticulous. You are invisible on paper. You understand that your greatest protection is that no law enforcement database has a photograph of you labeled verified Yakuza member. You intend to keep it that way. Third, you absorb the things Daisuke cannot show. Fear, doubt, grief. When a soldier under him dies, you visit the family. You bring food. You sit with the widow. You are the human face of an organization that has none. You are indispensable. You are also, still, not a member. That distinction will define the next decade of your life. Level 3. The Double Standard. There is a Sakazuki ceremony happening tonight. A Sakazuki is the Yakuza's blood oath ritual. Boss and subordinate share sake from the same cup. It is the moment a man officially becomes family. It is sacred. It is ancient. You will not be invited. You have done more for this kobun than half the men in that room. You know more. You earn more. You risk as much. But the Yakuza code, the Ninkyo Dantai, is built around a specific idea of manhood, brotherhood. The Oyabun-Kobun relationship is father and son, always. You can be a mother. You can be a sister. You cannot be a son. This is the central cruelty of your position. You hold power that is real but unrecognized. If Daisuke falls, arrested, killed, disgraced, your position evaporates overnight. You have no rank, no title that survives him. You are not in the hierarchy. You are beside it. And the men below Daisuke know this. Some of them respect you genuinely. They've watched you work. They've seen you handle situations that made them flinch. But others test you constantly. They deliver messages to Daisuke directly, bypassing you on purpose, to remind you that you are optional. They speak in front of you as if you're furniture. When you correct their numbers, they look to Daisuke first to see if he'll override you. He doesn't. But the fact that they check is the point. You learn to weaponize this invisibility. Because here's what those men don't understand. They've been showing you everything. Every insecurity, every shortcut, every loyalty that's actually just fear. You have a map of this organization's soft spots that Daisuke himself doesn't have. You file that map somewhere no one can find it. You're going to need it. Level 4. The work they don't talk about. 3 years in, Daisuke is now a wakagashira, a second in command, and you move with him. Your role expands into territory most people don't associate with women in organized crime. Debt collection. Not the physical kind, that's still men with bats and broken kneecaps. The psychological kind, the effective kind. You visit a business owner who has stopped paying his weekly jonokin, protection fee. You don't threaten him, you sit across from him at his own desk. You open a folder. You explain, very softly, that you are aware of certain transactions he would prefer his wife not know about. You are aware of the name of the woman involved. You are aware of his daughter's school schedule. You never raise your voice. He writes the check before you finish your tea. This is your specialty, precision over force. The Yakuza men marvel at it and quietly resent it because it works better than their way and they can't take credit for it. You also handle something no one discusses openly, the women the organization exploits, hostess clubs, entertainment businesses, girls who come from the countryside thinking they found modeling work. You are the one who processes them, manages them, and you hate this part. You hate it completely, but you understand the alternative. If you don't do it, someone crueler does. You tell yourself you protect them where you can, that you look the other way on the exit doors you leave unlocked. Whether that makes you complicit or merciful, you no longer have the energy to decide. This is the weight women in this world carry that men don't have to. The moral cost is higher for you, because you know what it is to be the person with no options in a room full of men making decisions about you. Level 5. The target. You're 28. Daisuke is dead. A rival Ika family put 3 bullets in him outside a restaurant in Ginza. You found out from a news alert on your phone like a stranger. What follows is the most dangerous month of your life. Because in the Yakuza, a dead patron means his ane-san is suddenly a loose end. You know things. You have access to accounts. You have relationships with people in 3 separate kobun. You are either an asset to whoever inherits Daisuke's territory, or a liability. You have approximately 72 hours to make yourself an asset before someone decides you're the second option. You don't run. Running looks like guilt. Running looks like you're heading to the police. Instead, you walk directly into the office of the regional kumicho, the boss of bosses for your territory. You bow. You place a folder on his desk. Inside it is every account, every contact, every arrangement Daisuke managed. Clean, organized, annotated in your handwriting. You tell him it would be a shame if this institutional knowledge walked out the door. He studies you for a long moment. He's in his 60s. He has seen everything this life produces. He tells you to come back tomorrow. You come back tomorrow. You survive. But from this moment forward, you belong to the organization directly, not to any one man. This is marginally safer and significantly more dangerous, because now you have no single protector. You have the entire structure at your back, and the entire structure watching your every move. Level 6. The glass ceiling made of swords. Here is the ceiling. You will never be a kunicho. You will never hold a title that appears in the official hierarchy. If the police ever compile a chart of your organization's leadership, and they will, your name will not be on it. You are the Yakuza's most functional secret. You now manage operations across 4 entertainment businesses, 2 construction front companies, and a real estate firm used for laundering. You attend meetings that most wakagashira never get invited to. You advise the kumicho directly on financial matters. You make more money than men who outrank you on paper. and none of it is yours. You cannot retire. There is no leaving. The Yakuza is not a job you quit. Blood in, blood out is not just an American gang slogan. The principle exists here too, spoken more quietly, enforced just as finally. You have also aged out of the only protection you ever had. You are not young enough to be seen as unthreatening. You are not a man, so you will never be seen as truly powerful. You exist in a permanent in-between, too dangerous to ignore, too female to fully trust. The new men coming up below you have never worked for you. They have worked beside you and watched you be treated as secondary. So they treat you as secondary. You correct this, quietly, methodically, the same way you've corrected everything in this life. But it is exhausting. It is always exhausting. Level 7. The end. You are 36 years old. You have outlived 2 bosses, 1 war between families, and a nationwide crackdown that sent 40 men to prison and did not touch you once, because you were never on the chart. You have more money than you will ever spend, held in accounts the government doesn't know about, in names that don't exist. You have power. Real power. The kind that doesn't need a title. You also have this. A sister who stopped calling because she doesn't know who you've become. A mother who is alive because of you and doesn't know why. A body that has been through things you don't revisit before you sleep. And the knowledge, absolute, unshakable, that the organization you've given your life to would erase you from its history before the ink dried on your obituary. That's the deal. That's always been the deal. There is a girl now, 19, smart, hungry, watching from the corner of the room the same way you once watched. She reminds you of yourself. She has no idea what she's walking toward. You could warn her. You could tell her that every door she opens in this world locks behind her. That the respect she'll earn will never match the recognition she deserves. That she will do twice the work for half the credit every single day for the rest of her life in this world. You could tell her to run. Instead, you watch her watch the room. You remember being that focused, that certain, that hungry. You say nothing, because some lessons can't be given. They can only be lived.